Okie dokie, let's get back. Welcome, my name is MaximiY, and today I'm going to be reviewing the FV217 Badger. Now, this is one of those this battle I'm actually pretty happy with because it displays much more of the Badger's capabilities than what I was able to show last video. So with that little tiny introduction, let me get into the armor profile. As you can see, it's pretty red. The one place you can penetrate it is its lower plate. However, there's a few secret spots. If you load, let me just pull out a more standard tank like the E6. There we go. This is what an E6 sees with heat. You technically can be penetrated into these little cheeks. However, if you use gun depression, yeah, it's all red. This is the main strength of the Badger. In a face hug, in a hold down situation, you are nigh impenetrable, especially if you wiggle around. Moreover, you have 4,000 damage per minute, which is insane and allows you to absolutely eat anybody in front of you for breakfast. As well as being able to angle quite well, so this comes in handy when you're trying to reverse back. And as always, it has a strong lower plate, so the reverse works as well. The main thing you have to remember, frontally you have armor, everywhere else you don't, but that frontal armor is incredible. Without further ado, let's get into the video. This battle is quite spectacular just in the sense of how much crazy things actually happened. And you'll be able to see that. It is all of the strength of the Badger and all of the luck that this game can have poured into one video. So, here I simply rush right into the beginning just to get to this spot where I can shoot heavies both in the crossing, but at the same time I am the one crossing myself. However, considering they don't have too quick of heavy tanks, I should have been okay, especially with the level of armor that the Badger has. So I'm able to try to get one shot off, and then I decide, you know what, screw it, I'm sending it into the ditch. I have armor, I have gun depression, I have damage per minute, they cannot stand a chance. So I crest the hill, poke the 60, and the Progetto decides to walk. Why the Progetto does this? I have absolutely no clue. What I don't have an even bigger clue about is how did this Progetto not take any damage, and further, how does he survive later in the battle? I have no idea. Here I have the option of shooting the 183, but I decide to kill the 60 TB because the killing tanks gives you more XP, which heightens your chance of an ace. Here I do a very peculiar play. I know that he will be loading heat, and by diving into him, I am able to make him miss it, dealing that 10 down. By the way, the Badger is surprisingly good at ramming. That is an example of luck, where that should not have been able to hit the Hori. Now, I high roll my penetration. Yes, your penetration isn't set in stone. It can high roll and low roll. And then this shot as well. Honestly, all of the shots on the Hori had a chance to miss, and somehow they didn't. I round the corner, and I meet a Badger. However, my reflexes are faster. I'm able to get a shell out faster, which means that my reload is now also faster. However, somehow I hit that armor spot. I angle, he bounces, I angle back again. Quickly switch to heat because, again, if you're having a tough time penetrating, always just switch to heat. It is much faster than trying to penetrate a shell with AP. I switch to high explosive because the rear of the Badger is quite susceptible, and the Badger has quite high HE penetration, as it is British, able to get that shot off much faster than the Badger. And then I turn towards the Progetto, who is already shot twice, which is why he's backing up instead of trying to run into me, as well as me having support from the tank behind me. So at this point I have 4 kills. I've connected both of those shots on the Progetto. He's running away, and then again, just absolute insanity. I don't know how half of these shells hit, and yet they did, showcasing why the Badger is so freaking good. Thank you very much for watching my video. See you next time. Bye-bye.